My younger sister loved the thuggish blue-haired man and went to a hotel with him. When I found out, I told our mother. But my sister was cunning and beautiful, mother's perfect masterpiece. So when the sensitive video of my sister spread online, without hesitation, my mother pushed me to take the blame. The man with the thug was my eldest daughter. My youngest daughter is always well-behaved, you've mistaken her. I was driven out of the house by our furious father, bullied and humiliated by my sister's men, and they even recorded it and posted it online. When my sister found me, I was dying. She sneered, "This is your punishment for ruining my love, you filthy body." I alone died in a small rented room. But when I opened my eyes again, I realized I'd reincarnated back to the day I caught my sister with that thug. This time, I chose to help them hide it. I wanted to see how crazy my sister would become if undetected. "If you dare tell mother, I'll kill you," she spat, blowing smoke in my face. I choked instinctively, wiping my tears but suddenly noticing no scars on my arm. Didn't I die? My wounds were gone. "Catherine, don't pretend," she hissed, grabbing my hair. The pain snapped me awake. This isn't a dream. I swore I'd never tell mother about the blue-haired thug beside my sister. She smirked uncomfortably and left with him on a motorcycle. I collapsed laughing and crying at my unmarked wrist. I'd been reborn. To take a shortcut, I turned into a deserted alley and saw Vincent, the thug, clutching my sister. They shamelessly clung to each other. Vincent was infamous among peers, a womanizer who'd cause pregnancies and abortions. A classmate with a doctor relative once mentioned he'd even visited a men's clinic. My sister rushed to block me, disheveled. I pleaded for her to break up with him, but she dismissed me. "We're adults. Only with him do I feel alive. He takes me to street food, skips school with me, and gives me the freedom I crave." I was saddened. Though she'd grown arrogant, she was still the little girl who once chased me, kissing my cheek. I couldn't stand idly by. After hesitating, I told mother. She gently hugged me, comforting me, then casually added, "Men forget old loves when they have new ones." A thought struck me. Vincent was lustful. If I lured him, he'd leave my sister. I pulled my allowance to hire a dramatic actress to seduce him. Sure enough, he dumped my sister for the new target. She sulked briefly, then refocused on school. I thought everything was fine until one day after school I saw Vincent dragging my disoriented sister into a hotel. Without thinking, I rushed in, knocked him out with a vase, and took my sister away. The next day, a video of her sleeping with Vincent appeared on the school forum. She became the target of everyone's scorn. I asked the moderator to lock the post, then tried to find the uploader, only to discover it was my sister. When I confronted her, she glared coldly. "Anyone who tries to take Vincent from me will pay." She cried into mother's arms. When mother rushed over, wailing that the video was everywhere and that she didn't want to live, she lunged at me, knocking me unconscious. I never knew my timid mother could be so decisive. She recorded her own video, claiming the man was my eldest daughter, that my youngest was innocent, and that the scandal had severely impacted our family, even our company. Father, rarely home, returned furious. Initially, he'd only punish me, but after mother and my sister goaded him, he expelled me. Without family support, my sister became the ringleader of school violence against me. I was stripped, humiliated, and recorded again. The video spread online, and father immediately declared he had no daughter like me. My sister found me dying, sneering, "I have 100 ways to deal with you. But killing you from the heart is best. Now you're alive but in hell. My punishment for ruining my love and freedom." I died alone in a dilapidated house. All my tragedies stem from meddling. In this life, I'll abandon my habit of helping others and respect my sister's fate. I wanted to see how far my good sister would fall with that thug undetected. When I returned home, mother emerged from her room only to see me alone. "Where's Khan?" "At the library," I replied. She frowned, finally speaking weakly. "Khan, you're the eldest. Watching over your sister is your responsibility. She's still young. You must pay more attention." I shrugged, lying on the sofa. "Mom, I'm only a year older. I'm her sister, not her mother." Her eyes welled up as she approached, grasping my hand. "Khan, I didn't mean it like that. Your sister and I aren't as strong as you." I cut her off, unable to bear her words. Only after death did I realize why mother always treated me as a tool. My sister was intelligent, beautiful, and mother's social trophy, while I was merely tenacious, mature, and passionate. Under mother's teachings, I once loved her and my sister wholeheartedly, becoming her sharpest knife. She likely knew about my sister's affair with Vincent long ago. Even my chance encounter today might have been staged. Why else would I suddenly have an evening tutoring session? Mother wanted me to break them up to restore my sister as her perfect masterpiece, while father remained the perfect mother in her eyes. The good one was her. The villain was me. Khan, did you see your sister today? Mother asked. I saw father walking with his secretary in the mall. Her stomach seemed a bit big. Will I have a brother? How could that be? Your father is upright, mother said, though doubt flickered. Maybe you were mistaken. I smirked as mother's face darkened. Her body tensed. She clutched her head, then stormed upstairs. Soon, muffled noises echoed from above. I cheerfully opened a paper, piecing together clues. My sister, groomed for years by mother, was meant to prove her worth to father. If not for the health complications during her birth, mother would have tried for a son. Father's attitude was ambiguous. He praised my sister, yet sought external heirs, hoping for a son. Years passed with no success. If my sister was mother's cracked masterpiece and she couldn't produce a son, would they turn on each other? I bit my arm, suppressing the urge to kill them all. I waited outside, diligently using air freshener to remove the smoke and alcohol from my sister's clothes. Adjusting her bag, stuffing and study notes I'd carefully prepared. My sister, the obedient actress, must play her role perfectly. Half a semester without studying yet still second? Is this a genius? I swapped names on the board, forging a new transcript for her. Mother happily posted her results online, then called father, long absent, to celebrate. Under the flickering candlelight, mother smiled shyly like a girl, but father remained indifferent, only occasionally humming. After dinner, he saw me standing upstairs, stunned, staring at the warmth below. A man holding his son, the child laughing as he hugged the man's face. Father's face twisted with jealousy. Catherine, have you ever wanted a brother? I nodded without hesitation. I've always dreamed of having a brother. If I had one, I'd cherish him forever. He patted my head. Are you well behaved? How's your studies? I bit my finger, bowing my head. After a pause, he looked up. What's wrong? Bad grades? It's okay. Girls can't compare to boys anyway. Your sister's a genius, but even she can't study as easily as a boy. These foolish words made me nauseous. I quickly composed myself. No, Mom says my sister's better than boys. She'll take over the company and achieve more than boys. Plus, I ranked first citywide. My studies aren't bad. Father didn't care about me at all. My naive words made him laugh. Then why did your mother say your sister ranked fourth citywide? I paused, then whispered. That's our little secret, Dad. I'll only tell you if my sister gets bad grades. Mom will be furious because she'll manage the company. But if I get bad grades, it's fine. I stopped, but he understood. He frowned. Does your mother really think your sister's better than boys? That she'll take over the company and do better? Yes, sir. I also think she's very talented. But women can't compare to men. If I had a brother, he'd definitely outdo my sister. Just like you, Dad, very capable. Finally, he laughed heartily, his gaze filled with implication as he looked at Mother and my sister. Then he patted my head. Good girl. Are you interested in visiting Dad's company? That'd be great. Can Dad come with me? It's been so long since I've seen you. He smiled, pleased by my admiration. My sister was indeed outstanding, allowing Father to treat her like a delicate vase, displayed prominently to symbolize status, earning praise from others. Thus, he could bestow a bit of affection and pity on her. But he couldn't accept the vase becoming a person, a threat to replace him. If that day came, he'd shatter it before it donned armor. During the company tour, I slyly showed my intelligence and ambition, then grasped Father's hand. Dad, do you know why I strive to rank first citywide? Why? Because I want to help you. You're always tired after work. I hope to ease your burden. Catherine, do you think you can handle that? No, sir. Important decisions must still be yours. I can only assist with small tasks. You know I'm not as capable as you. Father laughed, observing me, then crossed his legs, sitting on the co-chair. But what if I step down someday? What then? My sister will take over the big tasks and I'll stay by your side to care for you. Oh, if only I had a son. Things would be much better. A son would definitely do much better. Dad, what task would you like to give me? Anything you say, I'll definitely try my best. From now on, start familiarizing yourself with the company's work. You'll support your future brother. I'm getting a brother? I eagerly grabbed his clothes. There will be. But he'll be younger than you. When he arrives, you must wholeheartedly care for him. Catherine, remember, in this house, a man will be your lifelong support. I nodded vigorously. I'll remember, Dad. Twice, I successfully passed his tests, securing an internship at the company. Coupled with the pressure of senior year studies, I was overwhelmed, barely breathing. Yet my sister and mother were incensed by my company entry. What schemes did they plot? My sister abruptly cut ties with Vincent, returned to tutoring, and began studying diligently. A genius's true effort made a difference. In the final exam, she reclaimed her citywide first place while I dropped to second. She flaunted it in class but was mocked by a male student who'd long disliked her. University overlord, don't just study in your free time. Take a bath. Your stench is unbearable, spreading throughout the class. My sister's face instantly darkened. Furious, she stormed out, passing me. A pungent, fishy odor hit my nose. Vincent filth. The nights she didn't come home, the consequences were clear. Lately, she'd linger in the bathroom using stronger-smelling shower gel, but it couldn't mask the stench. I silently thanked that my room had a private bathroom. When we arrived home, my sister resumed her cheerful smile, placing her transcript before Father. Dad, I'm first citywide again. I also want to join the company. I'm definitely better than my sister. Many teachers say I'm smarter than boys. Mother chimed in. She's been smart since childhood. Let her join the company. She'll assist you more than your daughter. Assist what? I'm not dead yet. Father suddenly raged, overturning the table and glaring at my sister. The heir to the robber family is a liar, reeking like garbage. Don't think I don't know who ranked first citywide last time. Your heart knows the truth. He turned to Mother, his eyes filled with resentment. And you? Always boasting about raising a smart daughter, yet you can't even teach her basic hygiene. The angrier he got, the more he squeezed Mother's neck. I see you're not worthy of sitting in the position. Otherwise, why treat garbage as a gem? He finished, stood, and left without looking back. Catherine, handle this. I politely replied softly. Yes, Dad. The maid arrived to clean the mess. Mother sat amidst the filth, trembling, her eyes filled with hatred, shifting from me to my sister. Why? Why did you embarrass me? Why are you so foul? Droplets of sticky liquid fell from her. Step by step, she approached my sister, fiercely grabbing her hair, slapping her repeatedly. When I sat watching the drama, Mother suddenly lunged at me, slapping me hard. You're the elder sister. Why didn't you watch her? You're the one who harmed her. But I easily blocked the slap. Mom, if you don't calm down, Dad will really divorce you. Mother's face split into two halves, one furious, the other terrified. These emotions tore at her, making her more frantic. She spun around, grabbed my sister's hair, and kept slapping her face. After her anger subsided, she kicked my sister aside, shouting, What am I supposed to do now? How can I fix this? I calmly reminded her. Ask for a son. Are you mad? Both Mother and my sister cried simultaneously. When we were alone, Mother sighed, suspiciously eyeing me. Do you have a way for me to get pregnant again? Mom, why pretend not to understand? You've never been able to have children from the start. It's all Dad's doing. Even in death, he'd never know. Mother's face twisted in shock. What are you saying? I smirked, peeling an orange. In the daily health supplements he took, you'd secretly add medicine so he could only ever have 2 children, my sister and me. Her eyes flickered between madness and panic. You. I leaned closer, whispering. In this house, a man is always needed, right? Those women outside, how can their children compare to one born from you? For the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. Catherine, who are you? How do you know all this? I sighed, closing my eyes as memories flooded back. In my past life, after I slit my wrist, regret overwhelmed me. I still had grievances to clear, a major enemy to avenge. And then Mother walked in, watching coldly as I bled out. Catherine, you living only causes trouble for your father and sister. She brought a basin of warm water, gently placing my hand in it. Sleep, sleep, my darling, she whispered, singing softly, a song she only sang for my sister. As the stench of blood filled the room, she peeled an orange. The faint citrus scent mixed with my fading consciousness. Darkness swallowed me forever. But fate gave me another chance. I opened my eyes in this life, feeling the orange in my hand crushed to pulp. I exhaled slowly, forcing myself awake from those memories. I met Mother's trembling gaze. Mom, the opportunity lies in your hands. If you're ready, contact me anytime. I'll help you. I walked out, my hands still sticky with orange juice. I still took my sister to the hospital. A flawless plan cannot have flaws. She was already a discarded pawn, yet she didn't know it yet. In the hospital, my sister glared at me with resentment. But the moment I looked back, she teared up, her expression mirroring Mother's. "Sister, I think I'm sick. Save me, please? Can you save me?" I gently comforted her. "Of course. Don't cry. I said I'd give you whatever you want." Using Father's connections, I ensured she received the best treatment. Gradually, she recovered. When Father learned, his gaze filled with satisfaction. "Catherine is always kind-hearted. You'll treat your future brother even better, won't you?" I counted the days. Soon, everything would end. My sister's condition stabilized and she acted like a child again. She clung to me, begging for stories, sharing her candy, stroking my hair at night. "Sister, if we were born into a different family, we'd definitely be good sisters. Do you want to go abroad?" I offered, my voice soft and calm. "I can set up a scholarship fund for you. Enough money to live a lifetime without anyone bothering you." She paused for a long time, then whispered, "Tomorrow, I want to return to school." I hugged her, texting Mother, "I'll arrange an opportunity for you." The next morning, hundreds of messages flooded my phone. Mother's voice trembled in a frantic voicemail. "Catherine, I'm pregnant, but I don't know if it's a boy or girl. If your father finds out, I'll die." I turned off my phone, calmly escorting my sister back to school. At school, classmates whispered, their desks shifting away from her. I gently smiled. "It's okay. Sister will always be by your side." Influenced by me, others gradually moved their desks back, but she still looked at me with hatred, forcing an awkward smile. I headed to the company, reporting my recent studies to Father. After lingering, I finally asked, "Dad, Mom's been treating me well lately. Isn't that good? But I want Mom to be happy too. Can Dad visit her? Just for a little while?" Father laughed loudly. His daughter rarely asked for anything, so he agreed. The house filled with candlelight that night. Mother sent me a message during class. Success. At home, Mother focused entirely on the hospital, ignoring my sister. My sister repressed her growing anger, throwing herself into studying. She once disdained the efforts of fools, but now she studied diligently, desperate to reclaim attention. Her hair fell in clumps. Her once beautiful face turned haggard. Exam day arrived. She checked her tools repeatedly, her confidence overflowing. But while waiting for results, she anxiously scratched her arms, leaving bloody welts. The class leader posted the rankings. She rushed forward, record-breaking score. Yet her classmates still shunned her, this time with clear contempt. "How do you look at me like that? I'm a genius. Can any of you surpass me?" Someone sneered. "You're a genius, all right, not just in studies, but also in bed. A genius knows many tricks we can't imagine, right?" The class erupted in mocking laughter. My sister trembled, frantically checking the school forum. Her video with Vincent, front page. A flaming red-hot tag beside it. "Sister, you can't do this to me. You promised to always treat me well." She collapsed, shouting at me. I gently straightened her hair, fixing her clothes just as I had always cleaned up her messes. "But isn't this what you wanted?" She froze. "You knew I was going to post that video, didn't you?" I smiled gently. "Sister, I said I'd help you with anything. So I helped you post the original video. That doctored version, wasn't it disrespectful to you?" "No. I need to find Mom. She'll help me." She stumbled home, colliding into Mother, who held an ultrasound report. "Mom, are you pregnant? What about me? Will you abandon me too? I wish this baby never existed." Mother gasped. My sister lunged at her stomach. Mother screamed, instinctively pushing her away. She tumbled down the stairs, lying motionless, blood pooling beneath her. It wasn't supposed to be like this, if only I had good grades. Mom wouldn't treat me this way. The ambulance arrived. She kept mumbling those words, her eyes wide, breath weakening. But Mother only clutched the doctor's sleeve. "Is my son okay? Am I okay?" The doctor snapped in frustration. "Are you okay? Don't you see your daughter is dying?" In the end, my sister became a lifeless corpse. Her empty gaze still fixed on Mother, who didn't care at all. She clutched my sleeve, stammering. "I didn't do anything," she lost her balance. "You saw, right?" I gently comforted her. "Yes, Mom." She lost her balance. My sister's funeral was small. Neither Mother nor Father attended. They were too busy at the hospital, finally able to test the baby's gender. Upon hearing the result, they wept in joy at the hospital entrance. Father called me, beaming. "Catherine, you have a brother now. The family finally has an heir." "Really, Dad?" That's wonderful. I smiled innocently. Now that there was a son, my parents transformed from a middle-aged couple, full of resentment, to a sweet new lover. All the young mistresses were driven away by Robert. Every day he'd work and come home on time, cooking for Mother, who laughed happily, hugging his face. But with too much company work, he couldn't entrust it to others and had to grant me authority to oversee everything. Though I enrolled late and am not yet 20, I'm still of age, right? The mountain of documents exhausted me, but I still found time to return to school. Because Vincent had sent me a message. Your sister's really fiery. As a sister, you're probably not bad either, huh? Perfect. Just as he wished, I personally led him to a bar. After a few foreign liquors, he was dead drunk but still demanded thrills. I smiled, saying, nowhere compares to the school's small garden for excitement. He leered, staggering into the garden, pants half down. But unfortunately, he tripped over a dilapidated railing, losing balance and falling into a pond. Soon after, he became a bloated corpse floating on the water surface. From then on, a story spread in school. Any male student who harasses girls will be haunted by a water ghost. I shared this tale with Mother, casually adding, Mom, you know, those with blood on their hands will pass their karma on to their descendants. Watching Mother's tense nerves, biting her nails, muttering, I turned and left home for the company. Now I've basically grasped the company situation. I just lack real power. If I could obtain my parents' shares, everything would be much easier. Mother set up a Buddhist altar at home, smoke swirling daily. Father didn't question the reason, only quietly staying by Mother's side, praying for our unborn brother. But soon they noticed something amiss. My sister appeared frequently at home, sometimes asking Mother, Mom, didn't you say I'm your favorite child? Why treat me this way? Mother became extremely panicked, only feeling slightly at ease when Father was home. Due to their poor health, the baby in Mother's womb developed unstably. Fearing the long-awaited son might encounter misfortune, Father decided to abandon company work, focusing on caring for Mother. But some decisions still required the chairman's approval. Father became so busy he was frantic and soon his body collapsed. Before the annual shareholders meeting, Father suddenly called me into the room. Catherine, your mom and I plan to have you temporarily hold these shares. Dad, these are my brother's assets. I'm just a girl, how can I do this? I feigned anxiety, nearly crying. Father suddenly sighed in relief. Don't worry, Catherine. Secretary Ethan will assist you. These shares are just temporarily held by you. Once your brother comes of age, they'll still belong to him. I nodded obediently. I understand, Dad. I won't disappoint you. Father signed the share authorization agreement. I officially gained real power in the company. Many things I couldn't do before now became easy. Now I just needed to turn all of this into assets truly belonging to me. As days passed, I still participated in college entrance exams, but most of my time was consumed by company work. Despite my youth, I had fully seized control of the company. Mother's womb grew, and soon the due date arrived. For half a year, Mother was tormented by hallucinations of my sister, becoming emaciated like a skeleton. But each time she touched her belly, her face filled with happiness. In the delivery room, Mother struggled during childbirth. Yet she felt fulfilled, exerting all her strength to bring this child into the world. Catherine, as long as we have this baby, Mom and Dad will be together forever. I held Mother's hand, gently whispering into her ear. Mom, actually this baby is a girl. Just now Dad found out. Now he's gone to find his lover. Mom, are you being tricked by me? The midwife urgently called for Father, but I just silently watched. The nurse rushed out to find someone, only to discover the hallway completely empty. Your husband isn't out here. Mother gasped, blood gushing from between her legs. Her eyes widened, fixed on the delivery room door. Doctors and nurses hurriedly performed CPR. The beep, beep, beep of the heart monitor blared incessantly, finally flattening into a straight line. The doctor removed his white coat, approaching Father, who'd rushed back with flowers. Mr. Robert, I'm sorry. Your wife and child didn't make it. Father stood stunned, then suddenly asked, was it a boy or a girl? It was a fully developed boy. The bouquet fell to the ground. He began pacing the hospital corridor. Why? The son I longed for my whole life, gone because of a moment of romantic impulsiveness. How could this be? I looked at him with worried eyes. Dad, don't be like this. It's all your fault. If you hadn't said Mom would like flowers, I wouldn't have gone to buy them. Furious, he pushed me away, raising his hand to slap me. But before the blow landed, he collapsed. I stood still, looking down at our father, his mouth twisted, eyes bulging, sprawled on the floor. Doctors rushed him into the emergency room. Miss Anna, Mr. Robert likely suffered a stroke. Please prepare yourself. I buried my head in my arm, biting hard. Finally, this day had come. I just feared I couldn't restrain myself from laughing aloud. The doctor hurriedly reported to me. Good news. Mr. Robert had a stroke, lost the ability to speak, and may be completely paralyzed. That night I bathed, changed clothes, then entered Father's hospital room with flowers. You're furious, aren't you, Dad? I smiled, adjusting his pillow. Let me share a secret with you. Actually, the baby in Mom's womb wasn't yours. His body thrashed, incoherent sounds escaping his mouth. Don't believe me? Here, let me show you the video of Mom with another man. As he watched the recording, he reddened maniacally on the bed. I chuckled. Fun, right? Let me give you 2 more pieces of good news. Do you know why you never had a son in your life? Because Mom secretly added medicine to your daily health supplements. Tears of anger welled in his eyes, but he could only lie there motionless. But you're paralyzed now, Dad. You know what, Chairman Robert? From now on, you can only lie here, until death. Oh, and by the way, Mom and Dad's shares? They're officially mine now. No younger brother. No heir. Just me. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. I left the hospital room completely satisfied. The next day, the hospital notified me to claim the body. After cremating both of them, I scattered their ashes in the city sewage where they truly belonged. I walked out of the cemetery, inhaling the fresh air. I sighed, signing the charity fund documents. Tomorrow, another appointment with the psychologist. If she's right, by this time next year, perhaps I'll have fully recovered. My sunshine will visit once more.